今まであんたのために死んでいった命全部ぶん投げて楽にしてやろうか。それとも無数の屍踏み台にしてそれでも生きるか。あんたの好きな方を選べ。一つ言えんのは、あんたがあんたの戦いから逃げようが、俺たちは俺たちの戦いから逃げるつもりはねえってことさ。
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. We're finally here. After this long journey, me and Grant have read the final 18 chapters of Gintama.
I'm sad, man. I've been watching this for years. I know they're not going to animate it anytime soon, so I was just like, okay, might as well. I'll finish it by reading the manga.
So here's the thing. I was just thinking about this the other day. A friend of the show, Eric, I guess he pointed out that Demon Slayer, right, another Shonen Jump manga, is getting a movie, and apparently it's the final arc of the manga.
Oh.
They're going to make that into a movie. So again, that got me thinking, we're getting a Gintama movie. It's animated. Maybe this is the final arc.
I wonder how they're going to put all of that in there. It's probably going to be at least like 2 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, the average runtime's about an hour 40 for manga, or anime movies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot that actually happens in those. You said 18 chapters, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at 687 to 704.
If I can describe all these chapters in like one word, it would just be ooh, ooh.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's such a big part of this arc with Kondo actually marrying a gorilla finally. Jesus.
I actually could not stop laughing. Oh man, that was so ridiculous, but they pulled it off so well. Oh man. I remember when they first came in, like the aliens, I forget their names, and they were trying to get the Altana, and they were trying to resurrect them. Oh no, there was like a whole political thing with Donald Trump being assassinated.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then they said, I forget his name. His name's on the tip of my tongue. Purple-haired dude.
Purple hair. You're talking about Shinsuke?
Shinsuke, yes. Shinsuke, that's his name. He pretended to assassinate Donald Trump, and he was just like, you barely do anything with politics. All you just post is photos of you on Instagram. Either you're like eating food, or you're almost assassinated. It's either or. And there was like one photo where it's just like, oh, you ate something different? It looked like you were assassinated in the next photo. Trying to show the public, hey, like, no one can stop me. But this time they try to make it for real. Gintoki and Katsura, it was a trick to get the aliens closer to Earth, to the Altana, so they can shoot him with, like, these anti-air missiles. They shot him, but the alien ship was protected by these other smaller ships. It was like a shield, and they were like, oh shit, we found out it's a trap. And I remember that on the way to the ship, all these battles start happening on the ground. You have, not Kondo, Hasegawa, who's this big celebrity now, and he's just like, what do I do? I've been faking it for all these years. Basically, the entire cast comes back.
When I was reading this arc, I felt like, oh, we're literally just kind of repeating what just happened with the Silver Soul arc.
Yeah. I was very surprised that the first two people to come back, actually, was Gintoki's, like, prison mate.
Oh, Sachi?
Yeah, Sachi, and the girl that dresses up as the Reaper and cuts off people's nipples.
Yeah, I forget her name.
Yeah, and they're like, I wanted to escape prison to make myself a better person. Yeah, no, not really. I just needed this type of shading to make my nipples in a manga.
Yeah.
And they were making fun of, like, hentai common, too, for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Gintoki's disguising himself with a loincloth because he doesn't want everybody to know he's back. That's when Sachi shows up and starts talking about his manga, and it's like, oh, it's the same. It's the same exact thing.
And then the aliens came down, and like I said before, the whole plot to assassinate Donald Trump failed, and so they decided, when they found out that the aliens, like, it was a trap, the aliens said, okay, we're going to start invading Earth now. All the characters came back to, like, fight off the aliens. And the subplot with Kondo was just amazing.
It was... When I was reading it, I was like, I get it. Sorachi wanted to finally do this arc.
Yeah.
But it not only did it become important, but I think it lasted just a little too long for my taste.
I love how Kondo's just like, every time I just go, ooh, ooh, they just grab me and throw me up in the air and like treat me like a king. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm saying. He calls Matsudaira. He's just like, what do I do? All I just go is, ooh, ooh, and they won't let me leave. And he's just like, get it together, Kondo. Okay, you're this dude who has this backstory. And he's just like, you're just pulling this out your ass. This didn't really happen. Why are you giving me like this fake, sad backstory? Oh, man. See, when I was reading that part, what made me realize I've had enough of this little thing, this little act that was going on, was the ship that was above the aliens. It was the gorilla ship, and it was the shape of a fucking bunch of bananas.
Yeah. Last time we talked about this final arc here, I was expecting a certain way it was gonna go, right? As we find out, like, okay, so this final arc is Gintoki traveling with a young Utsuro who has been revived through one of the dragon wells. Ends up being attacked by the Tenjosho army, I guess, or spies, and they just want to revive him so that way they could take control, or that way they could use him to unlock immortality and then just go from there. And I thought, I'm like, okay, so this is going to be a solo journey with Gintoki, and then we see Shinsuke showing up, right? So now it's like, oh, okay, these two are finally back together with the same goal in mind, is to stop the Tendoshu from trying to revive the evil Utsuro.
But there's still a difference between Gintoki and him.
Yeah, there's still some internal conflict. They still have different ideals.
Yeah.
As we find out in this arc, Shinsuke is still very anti-government, no matter who changes it. That's why he wants to, go kill Katsura, even though they're friends. He's like, it doesn't matter. We still got to take this shit down.
Yeah, like, both Katsura and Gintoki agree, hey, we have to save her. We can kill Utsuro, but we have to save our teacher. But Shinsuke's just like, no, he's already done. He already died once. He needs to die again. He had his life. That's how I think Shinsuke felt.
Yeah, too, and yeah, he had like one final thing to go through, and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I just wanted this arc to focus on that.
There are some really good moments between the three.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot going on in here. It's a lot of everybody like, oh, Gintoki's back. A lot of finality of a series thing, like we just saw with the Silver Soul arc. This chaotic battle.
They ended it in 18 chapters, and they did a good job, despite Kondo's long-ass mini-arc. Which actually helped.
And if I'm going to be honest, I would probably, like, these 18 chapters, I probably would have condensed it down. I think there's some stuff that they could have left out of the plot. Because, again, a lot of it just feels like them repeating what just happened, right? This whole final battle on Earth with the Tendoshu coming in, what's his name? Ench? What's his name here? One of the alien generals that showed up
in
the previous arc. Yeah, he's back.
Sakamoto's
helping
back.
Everybody. Yeah, and then they pull that whole roundup scene again towards the end. It's like, oh, hey, look, everybody's here. They're finally getting a final moment again type of deal. And I feel like they could have not done that, and I'd rather it focus more on the story. It would have felt nicer, I think.
I think there was more quality when they jumped from Shonen Jump to Jump Giga. I couldn't stop laughing when they were about to run up to the tower, and they're like, hey, Gintoki, what? We got a problem. What's up? We're about to fight him. We only have like 3 pages left. What do you mean we only have 3 pages left? Will you shut up? We only have like 2 panels. And then he's just like, okay, screw it. Okay, the final battle is going to be in Jump Giga. And then the next chapter, first 5 pages, or I want to say 10, was just a Dragon Ball knockoff. I loved it. Oh my god, that was really funny. Like, he got the art style really well for Toriyama.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Even, like, I think Shinsuke was Vegeta, and Katsura was just like, how the hell did you get a Widow's Peak just, like, in an instant like that?
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, man. See, like, breaking the fourth wall like that, I really enjoy.
Yeah, that was a good way to start off the Giga Jump chapters. And since we're talking about the transition, right, I don't know about this either. It was only in Giga Jump. This is chapter 699, right, when they hop in. And they only were in Giga Jump for 3 chapters?
Each chapter was like 50 pages.
Yeah, Giga Jump's a monthly magazine. Chapter 701 was the last chapter in Giga Jump, but that's not the last chapter of the series. Sorachi messes up again here by not finishing the series in the amount of chapters they gave him. So from 702 to 704, they made a Gintama app to where you could read the final 3 chapters for free.
Oh, that's great. That's really such a Gintama thing to do. It's like, we're ending. Oh, we're jumping to another manga. Oh, shit. We still messed up. Okay, we gotta put it on the app. On an app that we made just for those final 3 chapters.
I gotta admit, this final fight here on top of the ship with the Tendoshu with Shinsuke and Gintoki was really good stuff. Because it's just like, oh, they somehow unlock their immortality, right? So that way they can live on forever, right? They reform their bodies and all that. But then we find out it's like, oh, it's not really them, though. It looks like them, but it's actually these remnants of Ushuro.
Oh, yeah, because they have the blood.
Yeah, so it turns out that the blood took over their bodies, and now it's Utsuro again, in a sense. He basically is like, oh, yeah, these are my puppets. And then what do we find here? Oh, yeah, Shinsuke has
Utsuro's blood.
Oboro's blood. Well, he grabbed Oboro's blood that had Utsuro's blood in it. And from there, Utsuro was able to take over Shinsuke's body, and thus Gintoki had to fight Shinsuke.
But didn't Shinsuke, like, stab himself before? Because that still kind of confused me.
So when we're watching the fight, right, it's Utsuro and it's Gintoki fighting, right? And then that's when we see Shinsuke show up and deal, like, the final blow. But it's then revealed after the fight that it was all, in a sense... It was just Shinsuke's body the whole time, but I think the Shinsuke that attacked Utsuro was like a mental thing, you know, like one of those things like, oh, we're gonna fight in my mind,
okay,
basically.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it looked like there was the scene of Utsuro waking up in that container unit that the Tenjosho had his body in.
And then you see Shinsuke stab him, but in reality, he actually stabbed himself.
Because we cut away from Shinsuke and that Utsuro, and then when we show back up, we just see the Shinsuke again. Oh yeah, so the one that wakes up from the vat,
Yoshida.
He is he's not Utsuro, he's not Shoyo, right? He's sort of like this new personality that remembers everything. So he's like a neutral party in this point when it comes to like all these personalities that Utsuro has.
Okay.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, and that is when he's talking to Shinsuke right then and there, and then we see Shinsuke stab him, right? But it's all really a play, it looks like. Oh yeah, so he does stab this new Utsuro, and then he transforms into Utsuro. Shinsuke does, but the new Shoyu or whatever he's calling himself, he escapes with the help of Kagura and Shinpachi.
Oh yeah. Because there's that final scene where they're like all together trying to get like all the Altana, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So when Shinsuke stabbed the original or the new Shoyo, it was just it was a fake scene, right? Because then we get the flashback, and it's just like, oh no, actually Shinsuke stabbed himself.
There we go. Okay, I was still confused. Okay, that makes a bit sense now. So he stabbed himself to stop Utsuro from taking control of him. Yeah,
taking over of the new Shoyu.
Yeah.
And just these final moments in 703 with Gintoki fighting him, it was really, really good stuff.
Rest in peace, Shinsuke. It was just like, I remember like some of his last words, it was just like the eye that like got cut that I can't see through anymore. The last thing I saw was like you crying. So I don't want you doing that again. Gintoki's just like, okay, I'll see you in hell. And he starts smiling. And I'm like, that, oh man.
Yeah, it was really good stuff. Out of everything for this arc, the only thing I wished we got more of was Gintoki and Shinsuke traveling together and actually having more dialogue.
Yeah, what happened like in between.
Yeah, because we only get, between those two, we only get like the flashback stuff when they were in the war, when Gintoki, cut Shoyu's head off, and then just little beats here and there sprinkled out the whole series. That's what I was really hoping for this arc when we started. I was like, okay, cool. We're going to see Shinsuke and Gintoki, either get closer or we're going to get more stuff between them. And that's really what I wanted out of here. And we got some of it. I wanted more.
Yeah. I'm guessing less is more, though. I want to say one of my favorite parts, I want to say tricking the aliens at the first. There was a lot of funny moments, too. We gotta talk about Kondo's little side arc happening here.
Yeah, Kondo. He's out in space. Well, he's actually, like, orbiting Earth while they're doing this wedding ceremony. And it turns out it's the same princess from last time, right? Of the gorillas. They take it over the top, but then it's just like, I have no idea what they're saying, so I'm just gonna make grunts and noises. And he's like, they start laughing, and like you see the translations, and Kondo's like, what the hell am I even saying? I don't know.
And then like it gets to the point where when Kondo says ooh, 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 you see Kondo's translation, and then next to it, actual translation, and it's just so completely off. I remember like I got so ridiculous that even like during the wedding ceremony, the ex-boyfriend came in and said, "Hey, I'm here to take her back." Kondo's translation of, "Ooh, hey, you can take her," and then the actual translation, "Ooh, yeah, come and get her." Try to get her. Oh, it was so good, and the fight was intense.
Yeah, it was just so ridiculous. Yeah,
and then they were just like, I think they threw Kondo, and like one of the ships, it hit their power system. They're just like, oh, we have to like drop anchor or something, not drop anchor. We have to let go of one of the ships to control power. We got to do it now. And then Kondo's just like, he's just like, okay, I'm going to start speaking English. I don't know if you can understand me, but like, we need to get the hell out of here. And then the gorilla starts speaking English, and he was just like, what the hell? You could understand me the entire time? I could say more than just, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man. And they drop a banana on the goddamn ship on the top. I'm like, are you serious? And that really dim. I'm like, I can't get over it.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous. Again, I was like, I probably would have trimmed this down a good amount because it was during like building up to the climax of this arc.
Yeah.
With the Chenjoshu attacking Earth again. And it's like, oh, here's all the Shinsengumi, they're down here. And it's just like, oh, but where's Kondo? And he's just like, help me, guys. Just help me.
Marrying a gorilla. So you're telling me that baby is mine? It's just a gorilla?
Yeah, and the chief is just like, well, it kind of looks like you, doesn't he?
Fucking Matsudaira. Gave him that, like, whole fake background. What was another good moment? Oh, with Hasegawa. So years after, after that major battle before this, Matsudaira somehow Madao became a huge celebrity. And, like, he just looks like an e-boy, an e-boy. Yeah, he looks like an e-boy with a Buster sword.
Yeah, he's basically Hercule at this point.
Yeah, and he's just like, I didn't do anything to deserve this. And so all the aliens are attacking, and there's a news reporter with them, and he's just like, oh, like you need to help us, like Hasegawa's gonna save us, like do it. And he's just like, I can't, I'm a fake. I'm sorry. And right when he says I'm sorry, the enemies blow up, and they're like, oh, how did you do that? He's like, I'm sorry. And they kept on blowing up after he said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no, that was actually one of my chants. I wasn't saying I'm sorry. It was just asawe.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then you find out it's I forget that prince, the one that likes to collect animals with the purple tentacle on his head. It's him and his
like the butler, basically.
Yeah, shooting rockets. Oh man, that was crazy. But after the battle with Shinsuke and how they got off the ship, so you see Tama wake up, and there's this other robot, and she's just like, hey, you've been asleep for a very long time. Things have changed. Here's this little chip I'm going to give you to refresh your memory. And so far, it's like cyberpunk Tokyo right now.
Yeah, this was an interesting way to end the series. Because right, every series always ends with kind of like an epilogue chapter or something of the sort. And here it's Tama in the future as she finally woken up. And yeah, we're just getting some refresher of what happened. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, and like people are like, all the characters are trying to end like their arc in their own way, and then Shinpachi's just like, damn it, you can't end it like this. Like,
yeah.
oh god, what the hell? Like, I'm actually looking through the manga right now, and I'm just like, why is Sachan like choking on Gintoki's sword?
Oh, Sachan. Yeah,
and he's just like, I have no clue what this one is even trying to do here. But yeah, everyone's just like at Otose-san's like club, you know, just having a good time. And they're like, oh, how does Hijikata end this? And they're like, oh, here, wear this mayonnaise thing and take a photo. And he just stays there. He's just like, okay, yeah, that's it. That's how he ended. He's like, no, that's not how it ended.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, we forgot this part right here. Matako.
Oh, that was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's been traveling. Well, when we first saw her in this arc, her and Takechi were looking for Shinsuke because he's like trying to find Utsuro at the same time as Gintoki was, right? Being birthed from the dragon wells here. You know, they find out that Shinsuke took some of his blood, right? So now he has some Altana in him to make him somewhat, just a little bit immortal, right?
Just a little bit
and
immortal.
So once he's dead and, you know, they confirm it, she decides to travel across, I guess Japan, really, through these dragon wells to see if she can find Shinsuke, just like Gintoki did with Utsuro.
She finds a baby.
Yeah, one of these final chapters, he washes up out of one of the dragon wells.
Yeah, that was interesting. I'm just like, oh, wow, baby Shinsuke. Also, Katsura, his face was just Elizabeth most of the time.
Katsura's trying to be the Obama ghost.
Yeah, and he's just like, would you stick around with me? And you just see Gintoki, like, rip the panel up. Oh, man. You find out, like, she's walking through, like, this Neo-Tokyo, and she sees the Yorozuya building still standing there. What the hell? Like, why is it still there? And you find out that the chip that was given to her was completely written by Hasegawa.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a weird. It's kind of like an up in the air thing, I think, because when she sees the Yorozuya building and then she looks back, it's just an alleyway of where it used to be, and then she walks by and she looks, and who's sitting in a box? Freaking Hasegawa.
And he's just like, I made this world so everyone became unemployed. Every last one. When everyone is unemployed together, no one is. Joblessness became colorless, and so even the jobless could find happiness. And then you find out that the reason why it's like that is because Hasegawa was talking to the little tiny Minitama, and he's just like,
Tamako.
He's just like, I'll give you the real final chapter.
So it ends with Gintoki, Shinsuke, and Kagura, you know, kicking him in the face, beating him up, and we see the world just shatters. And tells Tama, like, hey, Tama, you're still half asleep or whatever, you know, and then we just see them run in Edo, and it's just, you know, the final page is them, and it says the Yorozuya.
Yeah, hell of a way to end it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the movie ending right there.
Yeah, I mean, if this movie is the final arc, I could see it being adapted pretty well.
Yeah.
The only problem is the Giga Jump gag. I wonder how they're gonna be able to do that.
They're gonna have to change some names around, or do like the anime where they censor it.
Well, they don't have to censor Jump, right? Because it is from Jump. But I'm saying because it's either gonna be a movie or anime, and it's not a magazine. You know, I don't know how. I don't think they've mentioned the magazines before as a plot point.
No, that's true.
But that turns out that's not the end of Gintama here. There was actually one more piece at the very end. It's chapter 704.1. It's the Kojien. It's the official Gintama fan book.
That one I didn't read.
Yeah, I didn't check it out. I kind of just skimmed it for a bit just to see what's going on, and it's mainly just Srirachi. There's a lot of jokes in here that are like they're screenshots of emails that probably aren't real, just to make like some jokes. But yeah, he talks about like what happened, why didn't he end it when he was supposed to, and just discussions with all the editors. And it turns out that Gintama actually went through a lot of editors throughout its lifespan in Jump.
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
Dude, oh my god, that's a while.
Oh, and then he also shows there was some stuff he actually cut out from the final chapter that he threw in here.
Oh,
there was like some panels he didn't finish, and yeah, and just some that just they cut out.
Did you ever read some of the chapters before this where they explained how, oh, so like this is what happened at the editor's office, but they changed everything around to where it sounded like an RPG battle?
Yeah, I read those chapters. Yeah,
Damn, there's even screenshots from Line.
I was playing Sekiro. Yeah, and then there's like a little short, few page chapters here of them in a classroom.
Did they explain why they actually ended it? Was it because the editors got tired of him saying, "Hey, it's going to end," and it's not ending?
I don't know. I skimmed it when I read this a while back.
Okay. Like I was watching this video with some of the Japanese voice actors, and they were saying, "Oh, what was your favorite moment when recording Gintama?" And so they're like, "Oh, when we tell these jokes, like we're always serious, you know." The seiyuu who plays Zura, he's super serious in real life, and he barely laughs. And so the episode with the virus, when he does Iro Smith, he was just like, he was saying the lines, and he was just like, "Yes, we got, sumimasen." And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because he actually laughed during his line. They were just like, "Holy shit, he laughed! What?"
It's a lot of like, I can't tell if it. There's like a lot of jokes in here in this dialogue. Yeah, so I don't know if what's true or not about this situation. Okay, I believe this part. When it ended, they Sorachi got all the editors together throughout the series. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, basically, I think what happened with Sorachi is because the final page here is like his farewell card to the series, and it explains he was able to end the series without the Yorozua feeling lonely. So that I feel like he wasn't truly satisfied with the arc, I guess. Oh, because of the end of the Silver Soul arc, right? Everybody departs, right? Kagura leaves to space to go try to fix
Sadaharu.
Yeah, who does show back up, and then we see Gintoki travels, and then we find out to go find Utsuro, and then Shinpachi decides to stay because he says he wants to reopen the dojo and all of that. So I understand that aspect of like if that was going to be the ending, he's like, oh, I don't want my characters to feel lonely when we end the series, and he wanted to bring them back together and make sure that they stayed together by the time the series was over. I kind of get it because I guess because in his mind he would think, oh, so the last time we see these characters together is the last time that they see themselves.
Oh, okay. He's trying to put himself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, it must have been tough for him to like end it after like 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years in Shonen Jump is not an easy feat,
Nope.
as very few mangas can reach 700 chapters. It's crazy to see it last that long.
See, when you got Shonen Jump back in the day, let's say like middle school, high school, did you ever see Gintama in any of them?
You're talking about the monthly versions in the West. I don't think so, because when they came out here, it's not like Shonen Jump in Japan, right? They have like 20 series over there running weekly. Here, they kind of it was like the monthly version, right? So there'd be 3 to 4 chapters of like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and then they would show off new mangas like Toriko, and then that's where I read Siren. So I don't think they had Gintama. I'm gonna have to go find my boxes and go through them and see if Gintama was there.
Gotcha. Okay. Probably just the main ones like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they had for the West when they were still printing them was the popular series, and then they would bring in like new series in there. That's where I discovered a lot of new series back then. I know Ultimo was one of them.
Okay.
And then sometimes they would skip certain mangas. They wouldn't bring them in, and then they would come back the next issue.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd be surprised if you found like Gintama in one of your old ones, because that started in 2003.
Yeah, that was a good while ago here. Yeah, I'm curious. I was just wondering how popular Gintama was at this time.
I know my friend who got me into this show, he told me that in Japan, I think it would come on after like the 6 o'clock news at like 6:30. But then once it started getting more high def and like the jokes were a bit more profane, they moved it to like 1:30 in the morning.
Mm.
So like he would before he went to bed, he would actually have to put a recording on the TV so he could record Gintama.
Yeah, because I know again it's not your typical shonen series.
Oh yeah.
that Shonen Jump was putting out. But yeah, looking at some of the rankings like scattered throughout, during these final 3 arcs, it looked like top 10.
Oh wow, that's good.
For the most part. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, like everything changed like after the or when the Shogun assassination arc started.
Yeah. And I think that was the best decision you could make for Gintama. Yeah, but that's it, man. We're finally here at the end. We started this journey exactly almost 1 year ago here on the podcast for Gintama.
Right. We started in April or May?
I was curious to see when we started. Yeah, the first episode we did was May 17th of last year.
I remember like I caught up with the anime when I first moved here last year. And I remember years before, you were trying to read Gintama, and you were like, I can't do this, there's too much dialogue. It took you like 10 minutes to read 4 pages.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. This, I tried reading it, I think twice before we actually sat down and I started doing this.
Yeah, you had to fully concentrate. And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm happy to say at the end, it was, for the most part, worth it. I, again, say if you do want to get into Gintama, try to find an abridged version, I guess you could say, of the series. Just trim the fat on here, because there's a lot that you don't really need if you want, like, story content. But if you want just, like, pure Gintama comedy and all that, then, you could just keep going with everything in the series.
I think you should fully experience it because you get to learn like the little quirks about everyone that each person has. So when you read the serious parts, they have those funny moments. You're going to be like, "What the hell?" That's what I think. You could trim it; it's completely up to you. But it is a hell of an adventure. It's 700 chapters. It's like 350 episodes. That's how I did it. I watched it on Crunchyroll. My friend let me use his account for free, and I just thought it was so funny. The voice actors were just top tier. Shinpachi, Gintoki, they were great. The dude that voices Gintoki voices Joseph Joestar. He's a great seiyuu. I don't know who else Shinpachi is in. I know the dude that voices Hijikata also voices Mugen in the dub for Samurai or in the Japanese sub for Samurai Champloo.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, I would, like you said, I would recommend checking out the anime just for a few bits there. I've been listening to it a lot recently, but I grabbed the Gintama raps, or like if you go on YouTube, look up Gintama raps, right? The episode with with like Sasaki Tetsunotsuke, the Mimi Warigumi's leader, his younger brother. He joins the Shinsengumi, the cherry boy. Yeah, and I've been listening to that for the past few days. It's really fun stuff. And then you have Hijikata end with one line at the end, and just the way his voice actor does it is so good.
Yeah, like if you ever want to watch the anime, I'd say just give it a watch if you like the voice acting. Did you know that Gintama had a Ghostbusters promotion for a Japanese theme park called J-World Tokyo? Oh, I think that's the one I went to a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I may be wrong. Let me check this. Oh my god! So it's Hijikata, it's Yamazaki, and it's Sogo, and it's supposed to look like Ghostbusters, but Hijikata's thing is his gun and his backpack are just mayo.
Of course.
Yamazaki's a giant onpon backpack with a racket club, and he has a bag of onpon, and then Okita's just holding a bunch of rocket launchers. And then in the back is Madao as the ghost and Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, because I don't know if you've seen other stuff with other mangas, but there's more advertising with characters. Even within the Shonen Jump magazine itself, there's those infamous, those lovable ramen commercials with One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
That are amazing. And then there's some covers of Shonen Jump where Luffy's literally eating a Big Mac from McDonald's.
I don't know what Gintama does. I don't know what they advertise.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. We're slowly going towards that world.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at the Gintama subreddit, and someone was like, "Hey, I made some fan art of Shinpachi, and it's just his glasses."
That's pretty good.
Some of these memes are really good. Someone's making making a bad Madao meme every day until a new anime comes out. So far, he's like 88 days, 87 days straight. But yeah, check out the Gintama subreddit too if you want like a quick laugh for like memes and whatnot. You should watch the movies.
Yeah, so I was just getting to that. Now that the series is over, what is next for Gintama? Well, there are the 2 animated movies.
The live action movie.
It's just one,
Yeah,
right?
just one.
Yeah. So I'm going to be watching those for sure coming up. And then whenever this third final movie is going to come out, yeah, I'm going to check it out.
What about the game for the PS4?
Yeah, so there was the game. I think it was Gintama Rumble, it was called. I want to say. It's sort of a Muso-like game. And I was checking out some footage for it. Yeah, it's just a Muso game. But those can be fun sometimes. And they look like there's some cool stuff going on in there. So I was thinking of grabbing it up. Sadly, it's not out here in the West. So you have to, if you want it, you have to get the Asian version. And that just basically means it's just the Japanese game, but there's subtitles and English text in there. So that way you're able to play it.
That's good. So can you buy it digitally?
If you want to buy it digitally, you have to create a PSN account for that region to get it.
Can you still buy English games?
But you, no.
Oh.
No, the PSN is tied to the country you set up your account.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can grab just the physical game itself and then play it on your English account.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that's what I was planning to do. But I have to see because PlayAsia doesn't have it. So
yeah, if you ever get the chance, I haven't seen the first movie. The first movie is basically the Benizakura arc, the blind dude with the sword, with like.
Oh, is it?
That's what it is. But I think they have like some extra stuff that's different from like the anime. The second one is its own completely different story. It's set before the Silver Soul arc.
Yeah. Does this have time travel in this?
The second one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's where I got confused because I thought after the Silver Soul arc there was like time travel or something.
Like Gintokyo's in the future, Shinpachi's like a fucking badass, and he looks at Kagura, he's just like, "Oh my god, your tits got fucking huge." And then he wears this like dot on his head to disguise himself because they don't know it's really him. Like, he's just, someone from the future. And he's just like, what's your name? Shinpo-san. And he looks like a dick. Shinpo-san.
Yeah, that's one I definitely want to check out.
Yeah.
And then, the live action movie, which was from 2017. Oh, it's on Hulu. That's right.
Oh, the live action one? Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I'm going to check those out. Oh, and you know what? Since we're talking about these movies, it reminded me because, when I was reading Gintama, when we were doing these episodes, I clicked on one of the future chapters.
Yeah.
And then that's when I saw Kagura, right, with her new design that she has in this final arc.
I really like that new design. I thought you meant in the movie.
Well, so that's where I got confused, because when I saw that, and then I remember the movie, I thought, oh, there's time travel going on, right? Mm-hmm. And I like both designs. I think they're great. Now, my only problem that I had with the ending of Gintama, that they gave Shinpachi and Kagura their old outfits, because I like their new designs a lot. I get it for Gintoki, right? Because the whole time he's just been wearing this generic outfit, and then they finally give him his original outfit. But then he gives Shinsuke and Kagura, and I get it. They're finally reunited, because last time this is exactly what they wore, type of deal.
Would you be down to do reviews for the movies? I still haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, I'm totally down to do these, to talk about these movies as well.
I'll rewatch the second one too. It's been years since I've seen it. The second movie, I think, came out in 2013. Remember, I bought it for my friend Masaki. I bought him, like, the collector's edition of the Gintama movie.
So we'll definitely be talking about the movies here at a later date. And that is going to pretty much wrap us up here for Gintama. And again, yeah, I think in the long run, it was worth the journey for the most part. Again, if I were to come back to this series, I would probably, just trim it down.
All right, guys, thanks again. Email us at unversedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and I mentioned it before on a main episode, but moving forward for these manga reviews, they're going to be weekly now. So I'll be looking forward to that. And again, that's going to be on Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. We're going to see what happens once Tower ends and what that segment does. So looking forward to that. A lot of interesting manga all around that we're going to be talking about coming forward. So yeah, like Grant said, thanks for listening, guys. And we're going to catch you on the next episode.
俺なっこも黙る佐々木哲之助カレーのお供にこれ福神漬け悪そうなやつは大体友達目覚めりゃ俺たち大体朝立ちこれ俺の兄貴佐々木伊三郎 Yo, yo, yo 好きなタイプは柴咲コウ Yo, 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 yo この辺で終わりだ全話回想 Yo, yo, yeah, yeah, yeah って全然回想できてねえじゃねえか俺なっこも黙る佐々木哲之助 B 卒業して今シーボーイいろいろあって今改心中いろいろやって今精進中手紙託され今お使い中なぜか捕まりボコボコにされたよバンタンバンタン新選組チェケラとそして俺シーボーイシーボーイ新選組チェケラとそして俺シーボーイシーボーイいい加減にしてくんない俺縛られ転がされたままの佐々木哲之助2週間前からずっとこのままこれ誰かなんとかしてくれよ胸ぐらつかまれ刀で脅され手紙ばらされ虫決め込まれ俺縛られたまま奈落の底落ちたらはいそれではいおしまい2週間前からずっとこのままこれ誰かなんとかしてくれよおい本編真面目なんだからこれ丸い加減してくれよマジかよ